Oh my God. I'm freaking out. You know, you are like a huge star in my mind and I'm obsessed with you. And honest to God, I turn to you every day for faith and motivation and I pray for you constantly. I love this woman. I do. So for everyone listening, Tia Stokes is with us. If you don't follow her on Instagram or TikTok, she has millions of followers on TikTok. She's dancing her way through cancer, a leukemia diagnosis. We're going to talk all about that. She's at Tia B Stokes on Instagram. And actually, Tia...
The Tia B.
The Tia B Stokes. Thank you. We got to get that in there. And I found out about you from a listener. So a listener to my podcast had been just sharing your Instagram stories and stuff. And I was like, who is this? You know, who's this woman? And, you know, she's like so positive going through this. And then I got down the rabbit hole a couple months ago of your Instagram. And it sounds probably weird, but I guess you hear this. Like, I look forward to seeing something from you every day.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Well, you're probably like, girl, no, I'm battling leukemia. I don't want you looking forward to seeing my stuff every day.
No, that's good. It gives me motivation. It makes me feel like someone's waiting for it. So thank you.
Oh man. So I wanted to have you on because you're 34 years old. You're a mom of 5. You've been battling leukemia for 200 plus days. Through that, you've had COVID and you lost your mom. Did you lose your mom at the start of your battle?
I did. Yeah. My first round of chemo, I was in the hospital for 31 days. And it was crazy. Crazy because I got diagnosed April 24th and then May 24th, I was getting discharged and I got the news. I wasn't even out of the hospital yet. And I got the news that my mom had passed away.
Tia, was that unexpected or had she been sick?
No, she wasn't sick at all. We had been Zooming every night the whole time I was in the hospital. We Zoomed every single night together with my other brothers and sisters. And she was fine. She was healthy, making us laugh, all the good things. We would play games every night on Zoom just to raise, my spirits.
Yeah.
I was by myself. And I talked to her on Saturday night and we Zoomed on Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, I tried to call her that morning and she didn't answer her phone. So I thought she would call me back. And the next phone call I got was from my niece saying that she had passed away in her sleep. So...
Tia, on top of that, before all this, you had this amazing career too as a dance studio owner in Utah. And then you had were getting on the path too of some dance fame because you'd actually been a backup dancer for Beyonce for a show. And then I'd actually read too that Britney Spears had given you a contract and wanted you. Did he want you for Britney's Vegas residency or tour or?
It was when Britney was going on tour. Yeah, it was back in 2008. Yeah, so.
So you're getting this notoriety when you're in your 20s. And what happened? I had read that you said no to the Britney contract. Why was that?
Yeah. So I had, it was crazy because that's all I wanted to be was a backup dancer my whole life and go on tour and do that. And then when that opportunity came around, and that was around my 21st birthday, my brother was actually helping manage me at the time. And then I just had this it was just this moment in my life where I came back to Utah for a little bit to pack up my things and to get things ready to go to back to LA. And I prayed about it and I really felt strongly that not to go. And that I know it was crazy. And everybody thought I was crazy too. And people think I'm crazy. They're like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I just feel like, I need to stay here. And at the time I also had changed my path in life. I wanted to be a backup dancer and do all these things. And then I just had this overwhelming feeling of, I just wanted to be married. I wanted to have a family and I wanted to do whatever my Heavenly Father wanted me to do, literally. And I told him that. I told my Heavenly Father, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And so I told my brother.
And you just kept having this gut feeling of, I just don't think it's right for me to go on tour. It's just not a good fit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it wasn't even just on tour, but they wanted me to do like be my own thing. Like Jamie Spears had set up producers with Fox production and had wanted me to like do my own acting and dancing and singing and all this stuff. So it was just like, it was a lot, but also that's what I wanted. But I also had this overwhelming feeling that there I wasn't supposed to go. And so when I told my brother, he just thought I was crazy. And he was just like, okay, I support you, but he was like, you're crazy. Like, this is what you've been working hard for your whole life. And,
wow.
And a year later, I started a dance group called Calamity, which at the time I didn't know what it meant, but it's an adult group that dances for people going through real life calamities. So we dance for people that are going through cancer or going through needing transplants or AT disease, everything. I mean, we've danced for over 50 families. We've raised over almost $1 million.
I know. I had read that you guys, so people were coming to these calamities.
Yeah.
And is Calamity still going? I mean, obviously, we're going to get into your health, and where you're at. You look amazing. But so is Calamity still going? Just kind of your role is on hold?
Yes, Calamity is still going.
Okay.
Yes.
You guys have raised over $1 million. I was seeing that all over your Facebook, like deep dive going back that, like a child who had passed and people who are sick. You guys had danced and then the ticket sales would essentially go to support this family. So, okay, tell me this. I do a pop culture show, so I am curious, like, because obviously Jamie Spears, wanted to manage you. I wanted to ask you one more question because they are really in the news right now with this whole. Obviously, you have other things to do, but this whole framing Britney Spears.
Yeah.
What do you you actually did know them a glimpse? It was 10 years ago. What do you say about them? Like, did you have a good experience? Did you see anything? I mean, it's become this whole thing.
I know it really is a big thing right now. And honestly, Jamie Spears, I don't know. Jamie Spears to me was an awesome guy. And, one of the things he told me, he actually cooked me my 21st birthday dinner because he's a chef and at their home. And actually all those videos that you see Britney Spears in, I was at that house in Las Vegas. And, he told me he told me at the dinner table, he said, whatever religion you are, he said, don't leave that religion. He goes, I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know what you do, but whatever it is, don't leave it. He goes, keep being strong. And it was just such a cool compliment to me, that my spirit and my energy and what I was putting off was like good and wholesome, was just good. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
I know it's hard to say, right? Because it was like 10 years ago, but I'm like, oh, you actually had some insight. Like you hung out with them and knew what they were like. And I think, unfortunately, she's such a big star. Like there's so many stories, but anyway, but that's fascinating that you had that opportunity. What did you say? What did they say to you when you decided? You said, look, I just don't think this is my calling.
They just said, okay, are you sure?
I know. Are you nuts? Anyway,
Are you crazy?
You're not nuts because you had a different calling. So, okay, after that, you open your own, you go back to Utah, you open your own studio. And I actually had read too that, because I'm curious, when you were 15, you'd actually given blood, right? And the doctor or somebody taking your blood had actually called you and said, by the way, I think that you could be a candidate for leukemia in the next 15 or 20 years. Is that right?
Yeah, I was 16 years old. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And I got a letter. It was actually just a letter in the mail. Yeah, a letter in the mail. And they sent it to me and was saying that something about my blood type and that I was going to get leukemia in the next 15 years, which was crazy. So.
Okay, when you got that at 16, did you think anything of it? Or you thought, oh, well, I don't.
No, my family panicked. They freaked out. So, and then we went to the doctor. We took the paperwork and went to make sure. And the doctor just said, oh no, this happens sometimes. Sometimes there's just a misread in the blood work, but you're fine. Don't worry about it. So my dad was like, okay, we're not going to worry about it. And we just filed it away,
Wow.
And here we are.
Here you are. So, you're having this amazing dance career. Your cute husband, Andy, who's Andy Stokes, who you have on your videos. And he's, oh my God, talk about husband of the year. If they gave that award out, that man would win it. He's been like so supportive. You guys have 5 kids together. And when you were having your little girl, your 5th child in 2019, that's sort of when you began to not feel great, right?
Yes, that's when I started to get sick. I had a cough and a sore throat during my pregnancy, and my doctor, we just thought it was just a typical, cough and sore throat. And then after I had her in like December is when I started to have like loss of appetite and flu-like symptoms. And then January to March, it just kind of got worse and worse. And I started to develop like night sweats and pounding headaches. But then COVID hit. So I thought maybe I had COVID. So we went and got me tested for COVID, and it wasn't that. And then I had a CBC panel done from my doctor, a blood work panel done, and it came back that it was leukemia.
So you get diagnosed in April, of course, like when all of COVID is like underway and everything. And you had said before we started the interview, you were kind of so sick, you were like, was the diagnosis like devastating or a relief? In a way, it was, can it be both? Yeah. Yes, everything. I live in the gray area, so it's both. Yeah. It's like
both.
Yes.
Like I said, I was sick for so long. So for me, it was like, I just wanted to get to work and get it done and let's get this over with,
Yeah.
But also very devastating because you don't think that cancer is going to happen to you. You never think that you're going to be the one to get cancer or your loved one. And I think for my husband, it was really hard, especially because he was very optimistic and we didn't think that my sickness was, we just didn't think it was like that. It was that. And so for him, it was really devastating.
I know. I actually went back and watched one of your very first videos, and it's actually you guys. I can't believe you're this brave. It was you kind of recording yourself going to the hospital to get the news, and you guys are sort of saying, all right, well, we'll see what happens or whatever. And then, you come back in the car and Andy's crying, and essentially, he's like devastated, and you're kind of like, it's okay, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get emotional. Just like, I just think you're so inspiring. I'm going to cry. But anyway, so I'll cry at the end. So anyway, you get that, and then tell me what is the diagnosis usually with acute leukemia? Is it pretty treatable? What did they say to you? Are you young to have it, or it's kind of common for younger people to have it?
No, it's not. It's a blood cancer, and so it just. Honestly, they just said it's just bad luck. That's what my doctors told me. Like it's not age, it's not anything. It's just bad luck. Cause I thought, I was like, well, could I have caught it early? Like, could I have tested earlier for this? Could we have caught it earlier? And they just said, no, even if you would have gotten tested earlier, like you probably wouldn't have even found it back then, So,
wow.
So it's just, but it's treatable, but it's a rough road. Like they don't consider you cancer free for a while,
So what made you decide in April to basically, obviously you're a dancer and you're a fabulous dancer. What made you decide to dance through cancer?
So they encourage you because with cancer, obviously you're so sick and you don't want to do anything at all. You don't want to move. You don't want to work out. You don't want to walk. You don't want to do anything. And so they encourage you to try to move at least for 15 minutes a day, do something. They're like, anything, go for a walk or whatever. And so I was already kind of dabbling on TikTok a little bit, doing my little TikTok dances here and there with my daughter and by myself. And so I thought that was the perfect thing because it's short little dances, easy. I can get up, I can do it. I can, learn the dance while I'm sitting down and then get up and do it for the 15 minutes. And so that's kind of where it started, is because I needed to work the cancer cells out from my lungs. And they said that cancer cells love no oxygen. So when oxygen isn't moving, then that's when it's hard. It's there. Like
okay.
It forms. So that's why they encourage you to move. So that was the reason why I started. And then I started actually going live on Instagram as well to get me to do a little bit more, even 15 minutes of just dancing, moving my body, doing whatever. And then I would just at least make one goal a day to post a TikTok. Even if I was like so sick, I would just try to post once a day just to motivate myself to, stay up and stay fighting. So.
Well, I mean, there's just something so infectious about watching you. And I think this is what I wanted to ask you is how have you obviously rely on your faith. And what I think is so fascinating about your posts is you're obviously like, please pray for me, because you've documented every high and low and then getting COVID while you had cancer. So, I'm sitting there praying for you, but then you're also like, you always ask us like what we're grateful for, and like, hey, and I'm always like, how does she give so much while she needs so much? Like we should be giving to you. Is it faith? How have you done it?
It's faith and gratitude. I am just so grateful. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful. Sorry, I'm going to cry now.
No, I'm going to cry too. Oh God. Yeah.
I'm grateful for all the people that have come into my life, and all the prayers.
Oh my God, I brought my tissues. I know, you're so strong. You're like amazing. It's just like amazing. And what's the craziest thing is like, I had read too that you had said that your dad, because your dad had passed and you kept getting this message from him, even though he'd gone, that he basically said, you are going to have leukemia, but you got this. And the craziest part is when I look at your stuff, and I don't even know you, but I feel like I do. I just like know you're going to be cured. And I know you have like the greatest calling. I don't know what it is, if it's a TV show or if it's maybe
I don't know what it is either.
Maybe it's just TikTok. I have no idea, but because it's very rare, I think, on social media to see somebody give so much while going through, like, you have just a faith that most people never can get. It's amazing. I'm a mess. Like, I love your story.
Oh, I'm so grateful. No, and that's what keeps pushing. Like, I am just so grateful for all the people, like all the many prayers and the faith, because I know that, miracles happen. And I know that through faith and prayers and numbers, like, there's power in the numbers of prayers and people praying for you. And so for me to give back, like to ask people what they're grateful for and to I hope my story resonates and just reminds people just to live in today, because you never know when it's going to be your last, I love you. You never know when it's going to be your last goodbye. You never know when it's going to be your last time to dance, your last 8 counts. And you never know when you're going to be faced with cancer. With me, one day I'm dancing in the studio and here I am 10 months later, I haven't danced in my studio, and it's just, I just hope that I'm able to give something back through what my experience is, So.
Oh, well, you've got that covered. You got that covered. Tell me this, how hard has it been for your kids? I'm sure as a mom of 5, you must sit there and like all kinds of emotions go through your head. Like, I have to be there for them. What if I'm not there for them? Are they like really registering everything that's going on or not quite?
No, they register it. Yeah. My 3 oldest for sure, obviously are, they're very tough though. My kids are rock stars. I have 4 boys first, and I know that my Heavenly Father did that for a reason, because boys are tough. They're not too emotional about it. They're just kind of like, okay, but they're so cute every night. Whenever we pray, they always include me in their prayers. And they're always it was so cute. My son, because my 100 days is coming up in March, and my son's like, Mom, you're going to be healed, and you're going to be healed next month.
Yay!
He thinks I'm going to be healed in March. And so they're just so strong and so amazing. And it's been not too much. We've had our moments of like tears together,
sure,
but very strong. They're amazing. So.
Okay, so you go through rounds of chemo, and then you also needed a bone marrow transplant, correct? With this type of leukemia. You got that from your brother. Now, the only time I was ever nervous for you was the first couple of weeks that you had that. It seemed like that was real, like make or break, right? Because it's if the body is going to accept it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's still, that's why they give you like 100 days, because your body still is like not fully engrafted yet. So even right now, like I'm on day 64 or something, and your body's still trying to acclimate to everything different, you know, all the cells in your body. So, but those first 2 weeks were seriously so rough.
I know, I was a little nervous for you. I was like, okay, she's got this, but I need this to be taken to her a little bit quicker. I go to your page every day, and I think I just think too why people should just follow you, and I think why you have a greater, you need to actually open your own church after this. But anyhow, it's like, okay, people bitch about the littlest things, and when I catch myself, I'm like, I'm going to Tia's page, I'm going to say a prayer for her, I'm going to talk about what I'm grateful for, and I'm going to get back on track, because you know, if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
Yeah, it's true. Yep, you're so right.
That's what it comes down. You really have nothing. I mean, because money doesn't make any difference at that point. Like, you know, I don't have to tell you, it's not about money. It's not about all that shit doesn't matter. Sorry. Yeah. If you come down to that.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. It doesn't matter. And it's funny you say that, because my dad used to say that all the time. He's like, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. He's like, you can't do anything. So yeah, no.
So you've got, your countdown time to making sure that this bone marrow takes. You get blood transfusions, and that's because essentially, I know Andy broke it down like real simple. Andy was like, yeah, you need a blood transfusion because it's natural. I guess the body kind of wants to reject, right? The body wants to reject the bone marrow transplant.
Yep. And because my brother's his blood type is different than mine.
Got it. Okay. So now, but all of your chemo treatments and everything have stopped.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And so
I couldn't, so I had to stop chemo because my body was reacting. So that's why I had to do the transplant.
Okay. So the doctor's first plan was do the chemo regimen. Let's see if that just gets rid of the cancer. And then at some point you guys knew it wasn't going to fully get rid of the cancer.
It wiped out, it like killed my bone marrow completely. So it just totally wiped out my bone marrow, but like took out everything, like all the good, the bad and the good. And then just like put my bone marrow to crap. So I had like nothing. And so they were worried about a relapse because of that, because I wasn't able to produce anything, any white cells or red cells.
Okay, got it. So you get the transplant. Your brother is a match, and then you get that, and then you have 100 days that you're taking us through, yes. And that is really about like the bone marrow essentially sticking, right, being acclimated to your body.
Yes.
How do you feel now? Like, how are you feeling now?
Right now I've been having like headaches here and there, and that's usually pretty common. I've been getting red blood transfusions, every week, which is pretty obviously common. We just talked about that. But I feel good. I mean, for the most part, I don't feel like tons of energy, but I feel pretty energetic. Like I feel like I'm getting my energy back, and I'm feeling motivated again to do things, and I'm having less brain fog and being able to be more like even active with my kids and things like that. So I'm feeling really good. I have nothing to complain about. I feel great.
A lot of people won't, it takes an experience like this to like shake them up. It seems like with you've been a giver forever. You were an egg donor to your friend, which was amazing. She had 2 babies from that. I'm like, Tia gives and gives. Like, is that just like when you turn your life over to God, it's just about service? Like,
yeah, it is about service. And that's what I mean when I said, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like literally that it's about serving our brothers and sisters, and like, we're sisters, and we're family. And I truly believe that. And so, it's wherever I can serve, whatever I can do to be a vessel for him.
So what advice do you give to people? Where can they start? Because I know that you two had gone through like some really dark periods way before this, probably in your early 20s, right? I'd actually heard that you had said at one point you even felt suicidal, that you, oh, yeah. And why was that? Do you feel like you were depressed, or you just didn't have a calling, or you hadn't found faith? What?
I was, you know what, at the time I was lacking a lot of gratitude, to be honest. I was lacking a lot of gratitude because I wasn't counting my blessings. Instead, I was counting the things that I didn't have,
Yeah.
and focusing on the things that I don't have in my life and what I wasn't. And so gratitude really, that's why it's such a big part of my platform too, is because I truly believe it's something that has saved my life and helped change my mindset.
So what advice would you give to people? Like where to get started? Is it a gratitude journal, or what would you say? Because
I would say every day, write down 3 things that you're grateful for, write down, just challenge yourself. I mean, sometimes, those big planners with tons of things in it to do is just too much, for me. But 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. That's it. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And then focus on changing your paradigm to I am, and then I am amazing. I am happy. I am beautiful. I am enough. And changing your paradigm every single day and focusing on that. I think just those 3 things each. I am grateful and I am, what's your paradigm? What are you going to change it to? Right?
Yeah. I'm enough, I'm beautiful as I am, I mean, I have 2 legs. I'm, I can walk, I can run. I'm great. Yeah. I think
the other day, my friend was like, oh, I hate my nose. And I'm like, well, at least you have a nose. Some people are born without noses. I mean, and this is true things, this is true things. People are just wanting what some other people have already, and
totally.
I think that's important to remember. And then I would say start small. Start with sharing smiles, right now we have to wear masks everywhere, but complimenting people, thinking good, thinking more positive thoughts. And I think that comes with the gratitude journal, and that changes your mindset to be more positive and looking for the positive too.
I did see too on your last video, you said as you get healthier though, negative comments are kind of popping into your, I don't know if it's on your Instagram or your TikTok. What are people saying? Why are people getting negative? And how is that, bothering you, or how are you handling it?
At first it bothered me. They would, people just like to say things like, oh, she's not really sick. I get that a lot.
They say that about you? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's scroll through here. This woman is hooked up to every machine and dancing.
Well, it's funny because I've actually gotten that a lot throughout the last 10 months because I have been dancing and I've been still positive. People don't think, they're like, is she really sick? Does she really have cancer? Is she really? And I'm like,
Holy crap. Are you kidding? I'm thinking to myself, I need to start dancing because if this woman can dance, well, she's got 25 wires coming out. I can do something. I mean, it's like,
yes, you can.
Holy crap. I cannot. That's amazing. But you're getting to the point you can tune it out.
Oh yeah, totally. Yes. Yeah. Thick skin.
Tia, I don't know. This might be maybe too far in the future, but do you think about what you're going to do or how your life is going to look when you're cured, when you're healed and things are good?
Well, I hope that I am traveling. I would love to share my story with the world. I would love to be able to share my story and be able to do more speakings and engagements and being able to motivate others through my story. And then hopefully my story, that's the thing is I didn't go through this for nothing,
Yeah.
I'm not going through this cancer journey for nothing. I feel like there has to be a purpose in it. There has to be something behind it that I'm supposed to share and I'm supposed to help others along the way. So I hope that I'm able just to do that.
Oh, I think you're already doing that. And I think, look, like I told you, not that it's about book deals and all that stuff. It's first and foremost you being healthy, and I'm sure you want to get back to being a fully active mom and all those things, but I think you have it. I mean, you have it, and you just have that attitude of gratitude and faith and can teach others.
Thank you. You're the best.
You really do. It's amazing. What about, has there been anything what's been the most surprising thing, I guess, you've learned about yourself through this?
The most surprising thing that I've learned about myself through this is probably that I'm able to receive help. Like I think that's one of the hardest things for a lot of people is being, receiving help and receiving people doing things for you, because that's hard. Because I'm usually very independent. I have dance studios. I'm a mom of 5. I'm used to doing everything. And this journey has really taught me to be able to be on the receiving end and to let people in and to let people help and to let people take part in my life. And be able to serve me, which, like I said, I love serving people. I love giving back. Because I feel like that's my calling too,
Yes.
And so that's been the biggest thing that I've learned about myself, is that I've been able to actually be served, and let people come and help me.
That's great, because it is interesting when I read about you. I'm like, wow, she is selfless in a way I think most people aren't. And it must be hard to just receive and like let yourself just take it in and not feel like you have to give back. Because, I often feel like when people do nice things for me, instead of just being thankful and present, it's like, oh, well, I need to do something back for them.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That's been huge for me.
Well, Tia, look, you're amazing. I'm so grateful to have you on this platform. And I just think people listening can get so much from your story. And, the Tia B. Stokes on Instagram is word of, I just love your daily motivation. It's terrific. And I cannot wait until you ring that bell.
Thank you. I can't wait either.
You're going to ring that darn cancer bell. And that's going to happen in March, right? Is that the...
Well, I don't know. And I don't know if you saw our live the other night, but Andy was telling me it probably won't be for a couple months.
Okay. Because even getting through the 100 days, they probably still want to monitor, right? Yeah. It's a long process. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, can you give us any hint? One last question. Any hint? What are you going to do when you do ring that bell? I mean, because I feel like all of Utah needs to. You're almost like the Super Bowl. We need to have a party. Have you thought about what are we going to do? Is Andy hosting something we can all be a part of? What's going on?
We're going to have a big Super Bowl, a super ringing the bell party.
They need to drag a giant bell down. We're all invested here. We need a huge bell.
We need a big flash mob, a big dance off, or big concert.
You got to keep us posted. You probably haven't crossed that bridge yet, but I hope there's a huge celebration planned.
Yes, no, there is.
Amazing. Tia, you are awesome. Yeah. Thank you for being on the Sarah Fraser Show. We love you. I pray for you all the time. It's just so cool. Like I said, I don't know you, but I feel like I know you, and I love praying for you, and I just know it's all going to work out great.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. Seriously. Thanks for letting me be on your show to talk my mouth off.
Oh my God, you're fantastic. I can't wait. I know you're going to have huge. I just know. I'm like, that girl's going to have a book, a talk show. Something is going to happen really big. Yes, when it's all done. Because I'm like, she's too amazing not to. Wait, and am I delusional? Did Beyonce just send you a whole bunch of stuff from Ivy Park?
She did, yeah.
She did on your thing. Wait, did you know that? Or did just somebody show up in your driveway one day and then wheel out this huge Beyonce display?
Yeah, they actually emailed me, and they emailed and said, Beyonce's so inspired by you. And she said Beyonce came across your profile and she's so inspired by you. And we're praying for you, and we'd love to send you some Ivy Park, from her new collection. And so, but how cool! She was inspired by me, I'm
telling you, you resonate. You resonate in a way that is just so darn sincere. And I think it's because you just, one day it's high, one day it's low, it's everything in between. And I think people can just get on board. And I think your complete turning it over to God and gratitude is it's very hard for people to do because it's easy to have doubt.
Yeah, very easy. I get asked that a lot about how do you turn it over to God, and I think it's just little by little, but also you just have to jump in with 2 feet. That's how kind of what I feel like. You have to jump in with 2 feet and just let go and let God. And honestly, it's kind of weird what happens. You just a big, no pressure. When you feel like you're just working for him only and you're letting go and you're doing it for him, it's all the pressure comes off too.
And when you first started that, okay, after you were kind of down, you start keeping the gratitude, and then you really go, okay, I'm going to let go and let God. So what happened when you would have moments of doubt? You just start praying, like you just be like, all right, God, guide me today. Like what? And you keep doing that to the point.
And it's, you keep doing that, but you get, you get little promptings and inspiration to do certain things. And I think the more that you act on them, the more they come to you. And I truly, truly, truly believe that when you get the prompting to, send your neighbor a sweet text or something like, just little things like that, that's him guiding our lives. And that's, you know what I mean?
Well, the prompting, I think, is where people get lost. But I know what you're saying. The prompting almost is like the thought that comes in your mind, right? Like, hey, I should call that person that I haven't thought about in 4 years.
Yes. But the cool thing is that when we start acting on those little promptings, they become more and more and more and more relevant in your life.
Yeah. They almost become the guide, right? So it's like
that becomes the guide. Yes.
You sort of pray, you open yourself up, and you're just like, all right. And then when those moments of consciousness come in, or I just should go to, I should go to that event. I don't know why, but I should just go. It's like that is, and then something happens.
Yes. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God. Okay. Fabulous advice. All right. Look, I love you. I can't wait to keep following. Hi to Andy and the kids. And they're so freaking adorable. And just sky's the limit. So it's so exciting.
I love you, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me today.
You got it.
I love you.